Dang, I'm going to throw my script away.
You brought one?
Yeah.
Yeah, toss it.
I'm going to throw it away.
Well, you can get around Sean and he can just make your biceps feel really puny.
Me?
Yeah. Wait till he hits the last spread.
Y'all are the muscle guys, man. I'm just a little dude here, man.
Sean, that front lat spread, bro.
I'm just a little.
What's that brand? Inaka?
This is Inaka.
Inaka is for swole people only.
Oh, Lord.
You have to send in a resume of your not a resume. You have to send in your max sheet.
Yeah.
Your max lift sheet in order to, and they have to evaluate videos with form. Okay. This guy did squat 565 for depth twice. He can order it.
I think I would shit my brains out if I ever squat that much. But man, let's get it started.
Get it rolling. Aren't we talking about doing a new intro song?
We are going to. It's coming soon. Just wait.
I can't wait to hear it.
We got a whole new intro coming. We're trying to get professional here.
You know?
So
No.
this song here, though, it's got a special place in my heart. Straight out of Nebraska or Nevada. Sorry.
Argentina.
Yeah,
You see how special it is.
very special. It came. There's only a couple of states to start with N, and it came with one of those.
There you go, man.
Yeah, we got some. We were just talking about actually before you got here. John and I and Sean, we were just talking about how, our plans for the podcast. Obviously, John has done a couple podcasts at this point, and we could talk about those. But
You're saying he has multiple podcasts that are his own.
that's correct. Yeah. So he has just more experience than all of us.
Oh, no.
Do in podcasting, and
whatever
whole bunch of knowledge up
We're
there.
literally the same because you were like episode 3.
I don't know.
On ours.
Something like
I think
that.
you were 3 or 2.
But everything that you see in here right now, I know I told you this earlier, but Daryl wasn't here because we started our show together. But everything that you see here started from me going on y'all's show.
Yeah.
And just getting motivated by what I thought was just the coolest thing ever.
That's awesome.
Because I saw y'all set up and it was just, to me, it was just out of this world. And that's what we started, obviously, where we started. And now it's come to what you're seeing now. But it's all because I went on to y'all's show and saw it.
I think their show was the kick in the ass that we had discussed. We kicked around the idea. We didn't know if we wanted it to be a podcast or a vlog or a video series or whatever. But we wanted to do something. And then he goes on your show and it's like, okay, we're ordering cameras and
this is what we're doing.
Back with a laundry list.
Yeah. So we got it. That was the kick in the ass. That kind of
the evolution of y'all over the last couple of years, man, has been awesome. I've noticed it. I'm a stalker. I'm a OTG stalker fanboy. So,
fanboy.
Fanboy. So I've watched it just go from the GoPros to the first camera. I think you were doing one legit camera, maybe one GoPro there for a little bit. And now to this, dude, this looks amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Man, thank you so much.
Really good.
It's there's been a lot of stages, a lot of different setups that we were talking about on the last show. How many different ways we've had the room set up, how many different cameras we've used, lights. It's come along.
A lot of tweaking.
Yeah.
But it's constantly, it's a little something different every week. I think we've had this set up for
going on a month or longer.
maybe a month. Yeah. So it's going to change soon.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah. We're on a hot streak right now.
Yeah, we're gonna add a drone view. Just
Go above camera.
Yeah. Right.
Dude, that'd be dope.
John, for the poor old saps at home that did not watch the show that you were on previously, would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name, who you are, what are the things that you do, and then we'll dive into some of these topics that we briefly breezed over before the show.
Okay, yeah. So my name is John, and I also do a podcast. Could do a couple different podcasts. I work down in
Plug them.
Okay,
what are they called?
Curiosity with John and Mike.
Curiosity, John and Mike. That's the one I know of. That's one I listen to.
That's the one with my buddy Mike, and then I have my podcast. It's called Our Society with Jon Alba.
Our Society with Jon Alba.
Same platform. There's really no different. It's just what interests us, whether it's health, fitness, a book, an author, business, local business. That's what the podcast is about.
Yep.
And then, work in manufacturing. I have a family, about to finish school, which is amazing. I'm about to be done with my industrial engineering degree, which
Congrats.
I cannot.
Hey, can we get some applause on here?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Bring it in.
I like that. I did the data analytics. I'm going to get about 6 hours a week back of not doing homework. So I don't know what the hell. I'm going to be so productive.
You're going to be shredded in no time.
Extra hours. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do, but yeah, man, I enjoy health, fitness, nutrition, talking to interesting people like yourselves. Yeah,
sure, man. So, you're for the people at home, Jon has multiple podcasts and works full time and sounds like goes to school full time and has a wife and kids.
Yeah. The twins, man.
So the point is you can do shit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Don't use time as your crutch. All right.
Yeah. My morning starts early. Dude, like 4 o'clock in the morning, man.
4 o'clock and the day ends late, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Man. I see your runs, and this guy, he not only lifts, but also does a good amount of running.
Yeah. So
the cold plunges are crazy. I would like to talk about that as well. Which one you use and stuff like that.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah. And then you also squeeze in the runs.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Like, where do those
all before work?
Okay.
So I lucky enough where I can work from home and or the office.
Yeah.
But I like to get it done early before the kids get up.
Yeah. No distractions.
Yeah. No distractions. I don't feel rushed. So I'm actually getting back into running. I messed up my plantar actually when I was here last time. I've been just dealing with it. It's been this kind of like nagging issue.
Yeah.
I went and saw a physical therapist, didn't get no help, saw a different physical therapist. They were like, it's in your back. Anyway, I didn't see any improvements, and I went and saw a chiropractor, and he used this audio wave gun. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's called audio wave therapy. Bro. It went from
audio wave therapy.
Yeah. It went from a solid, so I went from no running to running a marathon, basically, right? I didn't train up for it at all. I just started running one day. And then I started running like 20 miles every weekend. Like one run would be 20 miles every weekend, 17 miles every day. So then I just had pain. And then I was like, well, I'm going to get these carbon-based plate shoes and they're going to be amazing. And then I think that's what ultimately messed up my foot. So it was a year of just a solid 6 pain. Ooh. Just hurt every day.
All day?
All day. It just hurt constantly.
Couldn't run?
No, I stopped running. Yeah. And so then I stopped running for about 7 months, just a little jog here and there. I went and saw this guy. His name is Medina Chiropractor or something like that. It's in Katy. And, dude, he used this audio wave gun on me. And right after that, it went from a 6 to a 2. Wow. And this is my 3rd week seeing him, and I ran for the first time this morning.
Audio wave gun.
Audio wave therapy, audio wave. It's an audio wave gun, audio wave. But he said traditionally it was used to break up kidney stones. Okay. So people would.
So it's vibration.
It's audio. It's sound waves.
Does it hurt? Do you feel it?
It hurts on the tender parts, yeah, and on the parts that are messed up.
Is it touching you?
It's touching me. It almost feels and sounds like a jackhammer. So it's.
But it's different than like a Theragun. Much different.
Much different than a Theragun because it looks and acts like a Theragun, but it's literally sending audio waves in your. And he can jack it up to where it can like almost penetrate your bones.
Wow.
Right. So it's just about 3 minutes at a time. I don't know what the levels are, what the settings he has, but yesterday when I saw him, he said we're almost at the max level now. And when he puts it on the tender parts, like the tender parts versus the normal parts, it sounds different. So you can hear and you can hear the sound of where when it gets to the part that has scar tissue, it sounds a little bit more thump, like a thump.
Digging through a little
bit more
there.
Yeah. And then on the parts that sounds good, you can barely hear it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty amazing, man.
Interesting.
Do you get to pick the music or no?
No, I don't. I'm going to ask him that.
Man, put some reggaeton through my knee, man. Like something.
But yeah, so my hope is to get back into running because long distance running.
Right.
I want to do, my goal is an ultra marathon, 100 miles, at least 100
Nice.
Yeah. So
that's intense shit right there.
Making me feel like a child over here.
Dude, y'all seen you've been running lately, man.
Have been running.
Dude.
Yeah. I'm just trying to keep up with Sean.
So who's the runner? Who's the big runner? Who got who into running?
Phil got me into running.
Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't really much of a runner before I started working at the gym. And then, he asked me about running a marathon or running a short race. And then I ended up running a 5K, then a 10K. And then I have a couple more 10Ks to a half marathon at the end of the year.
Dude, see, that's crazy. You said I influenced you with podcasting, or Mike and I did, and then you influenced him to become a runner. Like
a ripple
crazy
effect.
Yeah,
That's
definitely
crazy.
The ripple effect.
Yeah, I think it was really a team effort getting started with the whole running thing, because it really started with Daryl, actually.
Yeah, well, so I think Phil and I separately, when we were younger, correct me if I'm wrong, Phil, we both would run, not together, we were still best friends, but he would run, Phil would do a longer distances, and I would run pretty frequently. We like to just get outside and run. And we would talk about it a little bit, and then that kind of faded out, went straight weight training, sometimes Stairmaster, didn't really have a lot of cardio in there. And then last year at some point, I don't know why or remember exactly what the setting was, but I was like, man, we gotta start running, like let's change up the car. I got to get some sun on me. I got to get some cardio. Let's start going for runs. And Phil was just like, I'm down. And we just started running, and we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know really what distances to go or how to train. And we just started going 3 times a week, 4 times a week.
Heck yeah.
And end up running a half. And then it evolved into Phil hiring a coach, and now he's going for a full marathon.
What?
And then it influenced Sean and Kevin and all the guys, all the people at the gym.
Everybody's running now.
And now we're all out here just signing up for marathons.
That's what's up, dude.
Yeah.
It's all Phil's fault, isn't it?
It's mostly his fault. If he wasn't such a good friend that I felt like I could talk to, I wouldn't have told him I feel like running. And then he wouldn't because Phil, the influence, if I was like, hey, I feel like running, and, on my Instagram, there'd be like one person, Phil, that was like, all right, cool, I'll run with you. If he says it, a bunch of people are like, all right, I'm running. You know what I mean?
You hire people a lot. You hire like SMEs or coaches, right?
Yeah, I'm big on SME.
SME, subject matter
expert.
Is that a corporate thing that we got there?
So
I've never heard that term before. Daryl mentioned it to me.
Well, no, I think I busted it out on one of the podcasts. That's called somebody a shmee.
A shmee, yeah.
And, but yeah, that's the corporate talking in me and John here.
But yeah, I mean, as a coach, this is what I do for a living, right?
Yeah.
Coach people in their fitness as a personal trainer. For sure. I'm a believer in hiring professionals, finding the people that know what they're talking about, and
people who have actually done it.
That's right. People that have experienced it, and that comes with good and bad stories. Right. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you can always look back when you work with someone, even if like, oh man, I don't know if I should have done that. If you really think hard, you would probably learn something from someone at some point.
Absolutely.
And it's always,
even if it's don't ever call them again.
Yeah.
That's a learning.
Yeah, that might happen.
I learned that I can't trust that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
But for sure, if I'm curious about something, there's no better way to learn more about the subject than to go to the expert.
Right.
Phil and I are always, I think we've had this, and it's not really a saying, it's the thought process for years. I want to talk to, so listen, I don't want a fat dietitian. I don't want a barber with a bad haircut. I don't want a personal trainer that's not in shape.
Right.
I don't want a carpenter that can't show me pictures of badass work that he's done or have a portfolio. Right. A little different with tattoo artists though. Most of them with bad tattoos are good artists because they grew up tattooing on themselves and all their friends.
Ooh,
and so they practiced a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
One of the tattoo artists that's tattooed on me, 2 of them, actually, I've only had 3 ever tattoo on me. 2 of them have a bunch of really bad tattoos that they got when they were younger, messing around in the spare bedroom, tattooing on themselves or their friends or whatever. And they're both awesome. All 3 of them are awesome, but those 2 guys are really good at it. So they're a little
different category, I guess.
Different category. But like, for example, whenever we've told this story before too. We were doing a little renovation at the old house we used to live in. We decided we needed a new toilet in the bathroom. So we go to Lowe's and we realize we don't know anything about toilets. So me and Phil are going, hey, I need to know who's the person, who's the person in plumbing, who's not the guy that came over from the blinds. I don't need you.
No. Electrical guy? No.
I don't need a plumber guy. Get out of here.
I need the lady. And she ended up being a lady. I need, could have been whoever, but it ended up being a lady. I need the lady who knows. And this woman gave us the whole rundown on tank capacity and drain size on at the bottom of the toilet, the outlet. Which ones are easier to clean due to the
seat comfortability?
Yeah, the design of the bowl on the sides. So we seek out
expertise.
We always seek out SMEs, subject matter experts, because there's somebody out there that knows all about whatever it is I want to learn about. I'll pay them. I'll hire them.
I want to do that. I'm just cheap.
Yeah. Well, so
I do YouTube University, bro.
Yeah. I'm with that for sure. But a lot of times I'll even do the whole YouTube University thing. Until I can't figure something out, no doubt, because I'll do that, or you'll end up doing that on the person that you want to hire,
right? As
well, yep. At the end of the day, you want to be confident in your decision. But a lot of times, the time that you spend, if you could hire someone, is a lot of times worth the investment.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyways, the answer is yes. Yeah. The answer to your question is yes. I like to seek out experts, and take their advice. And then
hire them, use them, whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
John, whenever we first got started, you were kind of running through the things that you're interested in, the stuff that you're into. And you said nutrition.
Yeah.
Let's dive into that a little bit. We had a little bit of a very short intro to a conversation before we started recording, talking about recent dietary experience you had. So are you somebody I know the answer. You're somebody who likes to try different stuff just to see how it affects you, see how you feel, document the results, move on and try something else. Has that kind of, is it you or Mike that,
I don't know. I think it's a little bit of both of us.
A little bit of both of y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all are willing to try these for a while, see how you feel.
Right.
And then if you like it, keep it. If you don't, move on.
Yeah. More recently. So I got big into carnivore. Hardcore, where I did just carnivore. That's it. Just ate steak. Well, like last year.
Okay. Yeah.
Just nothing but carnivore meat. And then it went into organ meat. So eating heart, liver, whatever I could get my hands on as far as organs.
Yeah.
So I was doing that consistently. And then on the podcast, I talked to a couple of doctors, nutritionists, and really the one that changed my mind was Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride. Have you heard of her?
No, I've heard of her,
bro.
She's intense.
She's
right?
life changing. So she's out of the UK, and she created what's called the GAPS diet. It's the gut and psychology syndrome diet, or it's for two things: gut and psychology. And dang it, I forget what the other G stands for, but that's the same acronym, just means different thing. One is gut, one is brain. And she created this diet because her kid was autistic. And instead of putting her kid on medication, and she was a neuro brain surgeon before she got into nutrition. So,
that helps.
Yeah. So she has credentials. Yeah. And she decided to change her kid's diet. And within months, the autism, the spectrum at which he had it just dramatically changed.
Wow.
So then that was a light bulb to her. It was like, okay, we are what we eat and our nutrition affects us.
Yep.
So she's big on fermented foods, fruits, vegetables. She's big on what she calls game stock. Yeah. You know what game stock is? Or meat stock?
No. No. I know about game.
Okay.
But
so there's bone broth.
Yeah.
Which is okay. We think it's very nutritional, has a lot of nutritional value, but then there's beef stock or game stock is what she called it. And it's basically everything, the whole animal in it, like a beef broth or a chicken broth.
You can buy beef stock at the grocery store.
Right. So it's the difference between the stock that you buy at the grocery store and the stuff that you may get from a butcher is that it's the whole animal. So it's like a femur with the bone marrow inside. It's a chicken, the whole chicken included, and then you eat that as a soup. So that's like her number one advice, is doing this beef stock or game stock, whatever the hell you want to call it. But it's the whole entire animal. It's skin. It's whatever meat on the bone and bone marrow, whatever in that.
It's boiled, boiled into this.
Right.
How do you get this?
So I'm fortunate enough where my family owns ranches and I buy cattle from them and then we get it butchered and stuff like that. So we just got a whole cow, a couple weeks ago. So that's the first thing that I made. I was like, Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride told me to make this, and I'm making it. So we make it every week.
You make it yourself?
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Wow.
So bone marrow. So that's her number one. When I asked her, what's the backbone of the GAPS diet? What's the number one thing that you recommend to your patients, whether it's they're dealing with eczema, whether they're dealing with autism, whatever, depression, anxiety, cancer, whatever, is game stock, beef stock, chicken stock, whatever. But it's not bone broth.
Right.
It's not. She says there's a major difference. And
sure.
So
yeah, because you can't buy anything like that at the store. I mean, you can buy a box that says beef stock on it or chicken stock on it, but it doesn't have. There's not full bones and organs and whatever and skin and whatever else in this.
Right. She fundamentally changed my entire outlook. And her and a couple other people, because I was of the belief, I got sucked into like Carnivore MD and like Liver King a little bit to where plants are bad and blah, blah, blah. And then I had a bunch of them on the podcast. So you surround yourself with these people, SMEs, and then you start to believe it. And I don't think, and I'm not saying that they're retarded. I'm not saying that they're dumb or anything like that, but I just have a hard time. Like, nutrition is not black and white.
I agree.
It's not like it's not 2 + 2, right?
Relative to the individual as well.
Right. So I started to incorporate some of those foods that were recommended by these nutritionists and doctors back into my diet. So now I would call it more animal based than anything else.
Yeah.
With some vegetables.
With fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very similar to how my diet is. Most of my diet revolves around a lot of red meat, potatoes and fruits for carbohydrates, and pretty minimal vegetables to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of meat and fruit.
Do you grow your own vegetables?
No, but my girlfriend and I are on the fence about that, like the amount of work that would be involved. We are thinking about it. I did recently start purchasing beef from a local farm though.
Hell yeah.
And we are getting a whole cow as well very soon. It's pretty much in the order.
Yeah.
But right now they're growing or whatever, but I've been buying from them. And I even talked to them about putting some of the organ meat into the ground beef.
Boom.
So
you're turning me on here a little bit. Turn me on a little bit. Keep talking.
I have some liver downstairs. I mean, keep talking. So we can break it out. You know what I mean? Real quick. But so yeah, I ordered like 30 pounds from him a couple weeks ago.
Dude.
And this place is very cool. It's called CVH Farms. The guy and his wife grow the cattle themselves. It's like on the northeast side of Houston. They grow the cattle. It's Brangus, black Brangus, and delivered to your door by the farmer himself.
What kind of ranch do they do? They do regenerative, or is it kind of is it grain, grass fed?
So it's grass fed, and so I did a lot of research. I was trying to figure out, do I want to go fully grass fed and grass finished? And I'd like to ask your thoughts on that too, from talking to all these experts. But what they do here at CVH is they're grass fed. The last 120 days, so what is that, 4 months? They take grain into the pasture, and then the cows make their own choice. They continue to free roam. They can eat as much grass as they want, but there's also grain available.
That's good.
And I thought that was, through my research, I couldn't figure out, I couldn't make the decision for myself. Do I want to go grain finished or do I want to go grass finished? Because apparently the grain finished helps the marbling. It tastes better. There's a little more fat in there. The grass finished has its own benefits, but it's not going to taste good. It's much harder to cook as well. And I'm not a chef. Like we meal prep style, good old meal prep. you know what I'm saying?
Brown the beef, put the chicken in the air fryer, throw it in a Tupperware.
The rice cookers going on in the background.
Yeah, that's what's going downstairs.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's going on here. So
unless Kevin's here and then all the smoke alarms are going off in the middle of our podcast.
That happens sometimes too.
I like it.
But the grass finished apparently is very finicky. With the cooking. So the grain finished allows you to not be as much of a perfectionist as a cook.
Right.
So what I found this place and I was like, it's the perfect in between. I don't know what your thoughts are or like what everyone has said, but that's where I'm at.
It's local too. And that's probably the most important thing of everyone I've talked to. I just talked to a regenerative rancher in Pennsylvania today, or Pittsburgh today. I forget the name. That's Old Town Farm or something. I forget it. But she said kind of the same thing. Like, always buy local if you can. then you can start getting into the nitty gritty. But from a nutritional standpoint, we really don't know yet if it's like you can go to the store and buy the conventional meat, and then you can go to a ranch and buy regenerative meat and compare the two. And there's not a whole lot of difference is what she said. And that's what a bunch of people said too. So I'm of the mindset, if I can buy local, I'll always buy local.
Yeah.
And I really don't I prefer regenerative raised animals if I can find it, but it's not like a
I have the other conversation that really kind of studied me a lot too is I had a conversation with one of our clients who is a cardiologist, and my conversation with him basically ended with, we're not sure on the beef industry and heart disease.
Right.
He said, we don't know, to be honest, but the number one thing that you can do, well, he mentioned two things, is eating outlet, cooking at home, and then having it be local.
Yep.
Those are the things that we are sure of.
Yeah.
Everything
that we
else
know work.
That's
are
right.
good for you.
That's right. It is cooking yourself at home and it being local.
Yeah. Isn't it wild that mainstream media, some health experts believe that meat's bad for you?
That's crazy to me.
Isn't it wild?
I know.
Or meat causes heart disease.
I have this conversation with people all the time, you know,
Same.
right? So
where's my tinfoil hat? I'm going to have to put you know what?
Where's my porterhouse at? You know what?
Hey, you know what I need, at least in my friend circle, family circle? I need one of those like Viking helmets made out of tinfoil because I'm like the tinfoil king. I think that some of them are ignorant, and people use the word ignorant is not offensive. That means that they do not know.
No, right.
So I think a lot of them just don't know. But I also think there's some underlying intentionality to it where I think it's likely rooted in big pharma and beyond, because the more unhealthy we are, the more of their products we buy and consume, right?
The more dependent we are.
The more dependent we are on them. So did you see the new food pyramid? They put Lucky Charms or whatever it was, some type of cereal.
Yeah.
Several steps higher than like steak.
I have not seen that,
as far as nutritional value, what's good for you and not good for you.
That's a little crazy.
The fact that Lucky Charms is even in the conversation tells me
it's not
one, the owner of Hostess or whoever is probably throwing some money in the hat.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. General Mills or something.
You know, they're running a business, you know, they're trying to get their name, but come on, to tell people that I don't think anybody believes that. Is there anybody on the planet that
some
thinks
people
that
do.
Lucky Charms?
Yeah, some people really think that meat is like,
well, some people believe that pyramid.
But is Lucky Charms better for you? Do they believe that? Because I can see if somebody was like, hey man, an avocado is better for you than steak. I could be like, I can understand why you might, if you're vegan and you think that it came from the earth, and that's a conversation we can have. But Lucky Charms, man.
No.
And I like Lucky Charms. Mm-hmm. Make no mistake.
Have you heard of Jane Buxton?
No.
I've talked about this book ad nauseum on my podcast. I recommend it to everybody. It's called The Greatest Plant-Based Con.
The Greatest Plant-Based Con. Okay.
So it goes from
on my notes right
nutrition, climate change. It covers the whole gamut. It took her 3 years to write this book, she said. And I had her on the podcast. And what she said is that veganism, the plant-based diet, started out of religion, the Seventh-day Adventist religion. And it was started out of basically to control the population, to control people, is what the plant-based diet started from, because the whole Adam and Eve thing. And that's why you have to eat this way, because Adam and Eve ate this way and they didn't eat beef. And that's where it started from, is what she said in this book. Well, also in the interview, but
interesting.
Damn.
So the whole vegan movement or plant-based movement is trying to make the population decrease. Well, is the underlying, is kind of where it's rooted in.
Well, it's rooted in control, basically.
Yeah, more control.
It's rooted in control. And it's ironic that the plant-based belief is rooted in religion, because I don't think they're very religious. I think most of that community is not religious. I'm
not real sure.
You don't think so?
I don't know.
I would say you're probably right.
Yeah.
I would guess that.
This is anecdotal. This is just
guessing,
just bullshitting here, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's where it started from, which is wild.
I would assume that. I would make that same assumption as well. That community is probably less religious
in
general,
right? If you think of religion, like if I think of a religious person, I think of like a old school country rancher.
Okay, I see where you're going now. Yeah,
that's kind of what I mean.
Yep.
And if you think of someone who's a vegan coming from California, kind of a hippie dippy,
probably
kind of
less
person.
Religious.
Yes, that's
okay. Fair. And I didn't think about it that way.
I'm sure there's
cross.
I'm sure that there's exceptions to that, but I would assume that as well. Yeah. That's super interesting. I'm definitely going to read that book.
Is the most amazing book. She goes over climate and how the plant-based narrative of climate change and how
is this person an omnivore? The person that wrote the book?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's important to me because one thing I don't like is the bashing of plant-based foods. Okay. So her book is not bashing anything. And that's the first thing I told her. I was like, I loved your book because it's not bashing the vegan community at all. And I don't like to see the negativity in either direction.
Correct.
Right. Because I think we can all agree here that steak's good for you. Spinach is good for you.
Right. I think so.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
I think they can be on the same plate for sure.
Yeah. Bananas got a great place in my heart.
Here's what I believe though. I think that a person who's if you put the two together and compare a plant-based person versus a carnivore person, the carnivore person is more than likely going to be healthier. Probably without PEDs, without supplements or anything like that. I follow a lot of vegans and I follow a lot of carnivores. The carnivores tend to always appear healthier.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah. There's a lot of overweight vegans.
I would say that at least appears that way.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I think, isn't it true that Oreos are vegan? I know for sure Lay's potato chips are vegan.
Dude, when I was vegan for 14 days, I was eating Oreos.
You were vegan for 14 days?
Mike talked me into it, dude. Yeah.
Damn.
What's he doing?
He's traveling a lot, man.
Yeah.
Living it up.
Good for Mike. Yeah. That's an interesting character. I really enjoyed.
He's a cool cat, dude.
I really enjoyed the conversation we all had.
He's a cool cat, man. He's a good dude. Good person.
Traveling for work or?
I think just for fun.
Okay.
He's one of those. So that's your best friend, right?
Yeah, he's my good friend.
He's one of those guys that like, I'm not really close enough to him to do this, but anything that, I don't want to use the word controversial. Anything that maybe I'm struggling with internally, thinking about, he's one of those people who I would like to just ask questions and then watch him, because I think his brain works in a different way. Like for sure. He processes stuff differently. He articulates it differently. He sees things differently.
Yeah.
And so he starts talking and you're like, I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah.
That's the type of guy that he seems like to me.
He's an interesting cat.
From the conversation we had and listening to the show, y'all's show, I like his responses. And he's also one of those people that I feel like you can disagree with, and he's like,
Yeah. No, I don't really care too much.
Yeah.
He's one that you can actually trick into like believing what you say too.
Oh, really?
Like if he has an argument, you can be like, well, you just feed him some bullshit number. And he's like, oh, well, I didn't even know that.
Man, lemon charms are really that good for you. I never knew that.
So he talked you into being a vegan.
Yes. This was years ago. This was even before the podcast. I was hanging out, and this is when I was eating just like, I thought Whataburger was a good meal at this point, right?
Sure. Nice. It's not a bad meal.
I mean, not a bad one.
Define good and bad.
Like, where are we going with this?
I went vegan for 14 days, 13, I guess. And the first 7 were amazing, dude.
Yeah.
And then that second week, I was just kind of moody, grouchy. I didn't have, lackluster of energy. So it didn't work well with me, but I know people who operate very functionally at a higher RPM on a vegan diet. Like I know it's possible.
Oh, there's people out there's shredded vegans out there that are Energizer bunnies, man.
What do you think was the difference between week 1 and week 2?
I don't know, man. I don't think I was getting enough calorie. I think I probably could have sustained it a little longer if I was eating the right thing.
More Oreos.
Probably.
You need to have more Oreos.
Yeah. Did you go double stuff or like?
It was during Halloween, man. You know, the orange ones?
Ooh, dude.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big believer in the psychology of this whole thing. I was just having a conversation yesterday, probably
Placebo?
Yeah, the placebo effect. And the placebo effect goes both ways.
Right.
Definitely.
Meaning that if you think it should work, it will work. And if you think intermittent fasting is what you need, it's going to work better because you believe it.
Yeah.
So, but also, if you don't like plant-based, but you do it because just for someone else, it's not going to work for you.
Yeah.
Because you've convinced yourself that it's not going to work for you. So that first week,
Crazy Mike talking to me.
Yeah. So the first week you might have felt better just because you eliminated Whataburger.
Right.
But the second week you just like, man, this shit sucks. So you start to feel bad.
I want to tell you my idea I have.
Let's hear it.
My second documentary. I'm just going to say.
I don't know anything about the first one.
Hold on. He did mention the first one. We got to get to the documentary. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So the second one, it's going, what's the documentary about McDonald's?
Super Size Me.
Super Size Me. So through the podcast that I've been doing, I have carnivore doctors, right? Like just carnivore doctors. I have carnivore chefs in my network. I also have vegan doctors and vegan chefs in my network. So I'm going to do something like the Super Size Me where I don't know the time yet.
Yeah.
But I'm going to film like Super Size Me, and I'm going to take my blood work, do everything, go vegan for 3 or 4 months, try to operate and get meals cooked by these vegan chefs, and then take a month break, go back to a normal diet, and then go a carnivore route.
Yeah. Document it all.
And then that's going to be a documentary.
That's
sick.
I'd love to be a part of that.
Dude, I want,
that sounds cool.
I'm going to do it, dude.
That's a great idea. Little light bulb going off. But I like what I really like about that is, of course, you're comparing the two, you're giving them a fair shake, but this is how what my brain likes. At the end of the day, you're going to compare these blood works and you're going to go, these are the facts. This is A and B.
Right.
Here's how I feel, but here's the real results.
Yep.
Here's what you think and here's what you think. But guess what? This is what it is.
What about testing physical? Like max PR, bench press squat?
Yeah.
You gonna do that stuff?
Okay. I thought about, I don't know what, I don't have all the
Fastest ultra marathon.
But so the idea just came because I have this amazing network through podcasting. Like, I have this amazing network of people that y'all communicate with. And I was like, that'd be a fun, interesting thing.
Super cool idea, man. But like Phil said a minute ago, my least favorite thing is the people that bash and attack each other just because their ideas are different.
Right.
Listen, at the most basic level, that red, white, and blue American flag that we live under, thank God, you can eat whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Well, it's ironic that you say that too, because I almost look at it like, the extreme rights and the extreme lefts, they're both wrong, right? So you put that with everything, carnivore and vegan, the extreme ones.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in the middle, right?
The answer is always in the middle.
Yeah.
Phil and I, that is a saying that we say. The answer is usually somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
It might be a little closer to
Carnivore.
In this situation. But it may be a slightly closer to one side or the other in all things, but the answer is not usually an extreme of anything.
It took me a while to realize that because I was in the depths of carnivore.
How long did you do it?
Dude, I don't know. Like it was over a year.
Wow.
How'd you feel?
Shoot.
Go ahead.
I think I felt okay. I wasn't doing I was going through that foot injury, so I wasn't really running, but but mentally, I was eating maybe once at the most twice a day, skip breakfast, eat lunch, a small dinner, but I felt good.
Yeah.
You didn't sound very convinced.
I don't think
mental clarity. How about stomach?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Normal.
The digestive health is, because I struggle a lot with that. So that's a big reason that I've came to the diet that I follow is because it's what makes me feel good in the digestive side of things, especially.
Here's how I gauge how I'm doing. If I don't have to wipe a whole lot, I feel like I'm okay.
Yeah.
And that's fair. Yeah. So
a nice clean poop.
Yeah. I think, and that's like some of the nutritionists or the gut people that I've had on too. They kind of said the same thing. If you don't have to wipe very much,
Hey, dude,
you're doing your guts agreeing with you.
Whenever you eat something that's not great for you,
the
odds are you're going to have a messier time in the restroom.
Dude.
Yeah, I agree.
That's true for me.
Yeah.
Were you doing blood work the whole time? And as you've done these changes, I'm very curious.
Yeah, dude, my blood work is the doctors. So at the company I work for, we have our own little clinic.
They probably hate you.
Oh, dude, they're like, you're gonna die. You're gonna have a heart attack. Your cholesterol's through the roof.
You need to get some Lucky Charms.
Well, like right now, it looks because my LDL is skyrocketing. My cholesterol is just through the roof, but my HDL is where it needs to be. Like if you're in the carnivore animal based community, your LDL it's okay if it's raised, but your HDL, if you have your LDL and your HDL raised, bad news.
But is it better now compared to when you were full blown carnivore?
It's about the same.
That's kind of my question.
It's about the same.
Okay.
Not too much different. It's lowered a little bit, but
yeah. What about other health markers? Testosterone, hormones, vitamin D,
all of that looks
creatinine, things like that.
Everything else besides the LDL and HDL cholesterol, everything else looks perfect.
Optimal the whole time?
Optimal.
What about pre-carnivore? Like when you were eating a standard American diet?
It was in the middle. Okay. It was, I wouldn't say optimal, but all my charts and blood work were in the middle. I actually just got my testosterone. I've never got my testosterone levels done. And I was hoping, so my buddy, he's going to get on testosterone or TRT. Mm-hmm. His levels are a little low. Mm-hmm. And I was like, dude, what, I worked overnight. I had a brain injury when I was little, all that stuff goes into, having low T. And I was
hormone production and the way that your body eats.
Right. So I was like, dude, I'm going to get on some testosterone and I'm going to get jacked. I'm pretty I'm pretty strong. Like I can lift a lot of weight, but I have a hard time growing. Like I can't really grow.
So your muscles are strong, but they don't increase in size typically.
The hypertrophy is not.
Yeah. And so full circle here in a little bit, but
sure.
So I got my blood work done. My testosterone is like way more than above average.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Free or total or both?
Both.
Okay.
So I'm in like the free, I'm in like the 555-ish.
Okay.
So I think that's a little bit above average. And I was like heartbroken. I was like,
you're like praying that it's really low.
I was praying, but I don't have like,
give me an excuse.
Yeah. My libido is good. I'm not tired or anything like that. So I didn't know what to really, I should have been realistic. So anyway, that was a gut check. And I was like, my workouts are just shit.
Yeah.
I just need to change my workouts.
Well, how much do you sleep?
6 hours,
oh.
six and a half, maybe.
Consistently?
Yeah, no. It was school and everything going on. No.
Exactly. Yeah. That's going to be the first from just what I know about you. And like, that's the first thing that comes to my mind is,
I'm a poor sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's a biggie that I think sleep for all health markers and overall well-being is so underrated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Super underrated.
Yeah.
Cause people want to say, oh, well, I got this supplement or, oh, I'm doing this training program or, I started, drinking these juices or whatever, right? Whatever they're doing to try to make themselves feel better. And, I do with this. I work at the refinery and, your typical refinery, mostly guys, mostly middle-aged, overweight.
Right.
And, they talk about, I'm trying this, I'm trying that. And some of them are like, I'm not trying nothing. But they'll come and ask me what I think fairly often. And, ask them some questions, let them see how they answer. And then, I'll go, well, what about your sleep? How do you sleep? Oh man, I don't sleep well at all, man. I think I might have apnea and, my bed's uncomfortable and this and that. And I'm like, you see, that's something that I would, so my little story, whenever I met my now wife, Jessica, when I first met her, I had this old, hand-me-down mattress. I think my mom gave it to me or something. I don't remember. I was a 20-something-year-old dude that lived by myself. Yeah, mattress. Yeah, throw it on the floor, and that's where I sleep now. Right,
that's all you need, man.
Yeah. And so I meet her, and I'm gonna fast forward through a little bit of it. It gets to the point where we will stay the night, occasionally with one another, and then fast forward a little bit more. I wake up one day and she's gone. I'm like, oh, what the hell? She left. Fast forward again, call her. And she's like, yeah, your bed, dude. I know I haven't said anything before. It's so uncomfortable. I'm never staying at your house again unless you get a new bed.
Damn.
And she's like, no hard feelings. Just you're going to have to come over here. I can't sleep over there. And at first I'm like,
I ain't talking about my bed.
She's crazy. I sleep great. You know, I feel good.
Your neck's like this. I sleep great, motherfucker.
Because I think part of being an adult, especially a man, is to be able to take inventory of your emotions, think them, have them, and then make a decision based on rationale on what you should do.
Yeah.
So I didn't say like, oh, you're crazy. You know, I was just like, oh, in my head, I'm like, oh, she's crazy. She's not talking about this bed's fine. I end up going and getting a brand new mattress, like maybe the next week or whatever. And I buy like a high end one, you know, and I'm thinking stupid. You know, it's like a stupid mattress. People at the mattress store are overselling me. Got the expensive pillow, got the expensive topper on it with the cover.
Got the Cadillac.
Yeah, I got the Cadillac, man. Dude, I laid in that bed that very night and
slept for 3 weeks.
Melted away, melted into oblivion, and woke up feeling phenomenal. I called her and apologized.
Did you really?
I did. I said, you were right. Those are the first words out of my mouth.
So you couldn't tell the difference though when you stayed at her house? Not much sleeping going on, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah. I would say to be fair, yeah, maybe a little bit of that. But it was whenever the nights that I would stay with her was a much different routine than like I would normally have during a normal work week.
Yeah.
You know, bed at 9, up at 4, and then I go stay with her. We might go out to dinner. We're probably going to have a few drinks. We're going to go watch a movie. It's midnight, 1:00. You know, I crash out and she wakes up at 6 to go to work. I'm off. And so it's kind of, it's the routines. So it's hard to judge.
Yeah.
And she did have a good mattress, which is now in our guest room. But yeah, so that's my experience with sleep. And ever since then, firm believer.
I think I need to up I think my workouts are okay because I change them up pretty frequently.
Yeah.
And I do some
Intensity.
burnouts. Yeah, my intensity is good. I think sleep is kind of the next thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been nerding out on sleep here recently. Sleep and digestion are the two things that I pay a lot of attention to that I think are overlooked.
Those are Phil's things.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what's guided me through my, diet, different protocols and stuff. I'm thinking about getting one of those 8 sleeps.
What is that?
8 sleep. It's, they have a mattress or they have just a mattress cover. It's cooling, like, so it can control temperature.
That sounds fantastic.
The mattress itself. And then it also tracks your sleep. I guess it tells you, it has an app and it tells you.
Doesn't your watch track your sleep?
Yeah, but the watches aren't as good because it only knows one wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily know when your other hand's moving. It doesn't know when your
What if
legs
you're laying
are
on your
moving.
arm and the blood flow is not as good? And I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know either. But
That's a good point though.
with 8 sleep.
Sleeping with a watch is wild. Already.
Yeah, and I don't sleep with I don't sleep with the watch on. Yeah, I tried it.
That's anarchy.
But the 8 sleep, it tracks your movement throughout the night, and supposedly it's fairly accurate.
So what do you do though? Like, how do you say? Let's pretend your sleep is awful.
The number one thing is having a pre-bedtime routine. And we're talking like it can be something that takes 2 minutes. Like it could be like
1,000 push-ups.
Well, if you're Daryl, but the pre-bed routine helps. And what that is helping is going to bed and waking up at about the same time. That is huge. That seems to be number one from the research that I've done is going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time is more important than almost anything else.
TV in your room or no? Yeah.
Man, my girlfriend and I have
none for me.
I don't.
For you?
I think you gotta. You gotta have no screen time.
We do
to go to bed.
We currently have a TV in our room because
none for me.
Really?
But this is very recent.
I can't tell if he's serious or not.
I'm serious.
I'm not a TV in the room guy.
No TV in the room.
But my girlfriend, the way her and her family, they grew up a movie watching and TV show watching family.
Yeah.
And so we had a long discussion.
Phil did not.
We had a long discussion about it. And when we moved here, the TV was too small. So we had to get a new TV. And then, so we had a discussion about where does the TV go?
Goes in the room.
And it's in the room.
So what you're saying is Denver won the fight.
Yeah. It wasn't a fight or anything, but you know,
it was a fight.
After much debate.
Traditionally, I'm not a TV in the room guy, but getting to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time is very important. You know, the light thing seems to be pretty important.
Yeah.
And just, you know, having good quality sleep. And for me, having some type of little routine before you go to bed. And like I said, going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time seems to be really important. Weekends included.
Yeah.
Because that's usually what happens is you never get into a good routine. Doing anything 4 days in a row is not a routine.
Yeah.
No.
You just happen to do it that week.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But come Friday night, you know, it's all messed up. And I'm guilty of this myself, but I try to recognize it and be aware of it and then get as close as possible to having good quality sleep and waking up feeling good, waking up, hydrating early, getting some light in your eyes early, getting your body moving early. Salt. Yep. For sure. And that way, when it comes time to go to bed, the number one reason people don't sleep good is they don't do anything all day.
They don't do more shit.
Yeah.
Right. We said that on one of our shows.
Yeah. And I'm not pointing my finger at anyone because this might not be the case for everyone, but the majority is they're not pushing their body and their brains hard enough to actually be tired to go to bed at 9.
Their excuse is, well, I'm not tired. I have insomnia because I'm not tired at bedtime.
Oh my God, when people say they have insomnia, it drives me crazy.
And I'm like,
that shit.
I think that there's probably some kind of disorders where it's real, you know.
Sure.
There's some kind of, but
no, I think there's a huge gap between like the people that say that, oh man, I have insomnia versus the people that really.
It's kind of like people that say I have OCD.
Yeah, it's like,
do not talk to me right now.
What is that? These insomniacs are staying up for like 3 days straight and they can't go to bed. It's like, bro, it's nuts.
Need to do more shit to make yourself tired. If your mind and your body aren't tired, not going to want to sleep most likely, right? If you're not in a routine, if you're eating like hell, if you're laying around all day, if I woke up in the morning and laid around my house all day and then it came bedtime, went to go lay down, my body would be like, nah, fam.
You're not tired.
We haven't done anything yet, bro.
Yeah, we're just getting started.
And I'll tell you what, by 8:00 on just a day that I work, I will wake up early. I will do my morning routine, which includes reading, a few other things. Reading, a little cold shower is my new thing.
Hell yeah.
And so I'll get up, I'll do the cold shower, I'll read, I'll get the coffee going, I'll eat my breakfast, I'll head into work. I'll usually work out on my lunch break, weight train and or cardio, depending on how much time I have and whatnot. And then I come home and take the dogs on a walk. I cook and eat dinner, or my wife cooks and we eat dinner. And then it's 6:30, 7:00, and my brain and my body are ready to go in there and go to bed. Yeah. It's like, all right, dude, hey man, we did some work today, right? And do more shit. If you did more shit during the day, most likely you're going to be more tired.
Yep. I think I need to get rid of the TV in the room, but I don't know if my wife is going to let me.
I don't know. You sound like you got plenty of shit going on with the job and the podcast and the kids. And
turn off these lights right here and I'm going to go to sleep. I can go to sleep like that.
Yeah.
Staying asleep though. Because sometimes we fall asleep and the TV's on or something and then I get woken up, the light.
Loud noise light.
That's big too. Like getting woken up, whether by kids. And you know who I learned a lot of this stuff from, Stan Efferding talks, who Stan Efferding is? The vertical diet, which is kind of similar to what I follow, right? Yep. But he talks about if you have pets, if you have young kids, you might need to go sleep in a different room.
Yeah.
You need those distractions that you think are not a big deal. You think that it's funny that the dog moves around all night and wakes you up or whatever. I guess it's kind of funny, but is it really worth you feeling like shit all the time?
My dog got evicted after 9 years. Yeah. So my dog Diesel, he's going on 11, he's 10 and a half now. But for the first 9 years, he didn't sleep in the bed. He slept in the room with me on the floor next to the bed. He had a bed and it was all good for years. And then he got a snoring habit, dude.
Oh, damn.
And he got a little older, got a little slower, got a little... All right.
Got a little louder.
All right, Big Daddy. It is time for you to go. And I think he was pretty sad, but now it's his routine too. He'll go in there and he goes and he has his own bedroom and shit.
Knows the deal.
Yeah, he goes in there, gets in his bed, and I give them some pets and whatever. I go to sleep and it's nice, man.
Yeah. It's important.
I agree.
Like if your pets are keeping you up all night, and like when we first moved, like our cats, oh my goodness, finally they did settle in. But I was going through my head, like thinking of ways to fix this problem, because that is a problem. If your dog sleeping in your bed keeps you up, then get the dog out of the bed.
Right. I thought whenever the twins were little, we first bought the twins home, that first year, I thought we were going to die from lack of sleep. I
thought I was going to die when she was like, I'm having twins.
That was one. But I was like, I don't know, like, because when one woke up, we woke the other one up. That was like our good plan to try to maximize the amount of sleep we could get. But they didn't like stay asleep. They were constantly moving. And there was just points where like my workers were like, or my coworkers would be like, you look like you're going to die. Like, so they, at one point they came and just because we don't have family around here or anything like that. So they came and like got the kids from us. That way we could get sleep, because my wife looked like shit. I look like shit. Like we were just like,
needed a night or two.
We were going to die.
It really wears on you.
Yeah. It just wears you down a little bit, man. So I need to optimize my sleep more.
For sure. And I'm not, and all these things that we're talking about, like we're not speaking to people in that situation. That is what it is, right?
Oh,
that's a completely different. But
twin babies,
people take it the wrong way, right? But no, that is a situation that most people go through at some point in their life, and you just got to kind of eat it. But when the time is right, you should be. And the staying asleep thing, there are, and don't ask me what they are, because I'm not sure. Off the top of my head, the supplement. There's supplements that can
magnesium
3 and 8. Is one for sure that can help you stay asleep. So you might check some of that out.
I need to stop drinking.
The guys at work use vodka.
Well, no, I don't drink alcohol. Okay. But I'm talking about if there's a water bottle near me, before I go to bed,
I'm drinking it.
Dude, it doesn't stand a chance. I'll drink the whole thing 3 o'clock in the morning. I gotta take a piss.
No, I don't. I try not to intake fluids after about 7.
My new threshold is 6 p.m.
Yeah,
I don't.
Damn, dude, that's early, dude.
I don't. Well, I'll have a gallon and a half in by then. But if I drink after, dude, I'll pee I'll wake up 2 times, 3 times in a 7-hour sleep. To go pee.
I'll drink before bed, but I always pee before bed too.
Well, me too. But then I wake up 2 hours later, 2 hours later. And
I'll wake up 2 or 3 times for sure. But after 7 or so, I'm only sipping water.
Like, what do you mean a sip? Like just
as needed. If I'm thirsty, little sip.
So that's another thing. I don't have, there's not just a little bit. Like if I'm gonna cheat, if there's Oreos around,
I'm eating the whole pack.
I'm eating the whole thing. If there's Dr. I'm gonna drink the whole Dr. My wife, when she brings cookies home, she'll hide them, because will wake up in the middle of the night and just like stumble in the kitchen, and I'll just
eat a pack.
Dude, I don't know that I kind of know that I'm doing it, but I really don't know that I'm doing it. But I'll fuck around.
You're in a daze.
Yeah,
I've heard people say that. I don't know if
I don't mean to do it.
Never do that.
I'll try not to do it. And,
I'll be honest with you, man. There's never been a time where I ate a cookie and I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Every time it's been 100% on purpose.
I know it sounds crazy, but I promise you, like she'll even like she just hides it now, because I'll go and I don't remember. She's like, "Hey, you ate my cheesecake last night." And I'm like, "No, I don't remember," but I know I did, because I just took a massive dump this morning.
So it smelled just like cheesecake.
All the evidence is there.
Yeah.
All the evidence is valid argument.
So she hides everything now.
So Daryl brought up cold showers, and you brought up cold plunging earlier.
Dude, so I
hate the cold, so I kind of want to talk about that.
It's a poor man's cold plunge. So I got a freezer and a little
like a deep freeze.
Yeah, deep freeze, and I got a temperature controller. And I got it set at 42 degrees right now. So I get in for 3 minutes. And I do that first thing in the morning. First, I wake up, start the coffee, go outside, just knock it out.
Really? Yeah. I thought that you had one of those like $high cold plunge.
I just told
machines.
you I'm like, I don't like to spend money, bro.
It's
cheap.
I know, but I'm just like, I watch your Instagram.
Kind of cheap too.
Yeah.
And I thought that.
Oh, does it look like a $high?
Yeah.
It looks nice.
Shit.
Yeah, it looks
I mean, I don't know what those look like, because I'm cheap enough where I never even looked them up, because I already knew it was going to be a problem.
I'm about to splurge here. And this is big news, because I don't splurge at all. I'm about to buy a sauna.
Oh,
I'm considering that as well. I'm interested.
Not infrared.
Talk to me. I'm thinking about it.
So I don't know I don't know which it's the rock one.
Costco has
they have
nice one.
They have the barrel sauna.
The barrels. Right? Yeah. Costco has barrel saunas.
Is it the traditional rock, like water over rock, whatever it's called? I know I'm not getting the infrared.
Yeah, you're talking about the one with the heating element, stone or rock or whatever, and it's like the one at LA Fitness.
As far as I know, the ones that they have at Costco is that
standard. Those are the ones that have been like all the studies that have been conducted on sauna use and benefits. It's not been done on infrared.
Right.
It's been done on those standard ones. That's what I'm going to get. So I'm going to like every Sunday will be cold plunge sauna for about an hour. That's the plan. So I will splurge on that.
Yeah.
But
the cold plunge.
The cold plunge, man, it's not as bad as you think because when you get in, I think a cold shower is harder because it's running water on you.
You're lying.
No, I'm serious. I promise you.
The cold shower sucks.
The cold shower sucks because it's
been doing it for a little while now.
It's just hitting you. When I get into the cold plunge, it sucks for the first 30 seconds, but you build a thermal barrier around you. Like, so
as long as you're not moving a lot.
It's almost like it's intermittent cold water.
Yeah.
It's like you never really, I don't know, create,
because it's just running the whole time.
So the new cold plunges are ones that look like a river. It's just running. And those are the new ones. Like you'll hear Andrew Huberman talk about them.
Yeah.
Rogan, of course, is talking about them, but those are the new ones. So but those are like those are more than the saunas.
Wow.
I do want to get one of those eventually and get my freezer back.
Cold shower sucks, man.
So you just fill your freezer full of water?
So I made it. Works? Yeah. So I obviously unplug it before I get in. My dad called me one day and he just got an Instagram and he's like, "You're unplugging that thing before you get in there, right?" And I'm like,
"No."
Did you raise an idiot? Like, come on, dude. Come on here.
Yeah, I'm hopping in with a toaster, Dad. What are you talking about?
So I bought, what is it called? Like welder's glue or whatever. And I sealed the sides of it.
Okay.
And then let that dry, of course. And then, just fill it up. I do want to so I have to change the water every 5 to 6 days.
That sounds annoying.
It's annoying, but I want to get a filter. And I think with a water filter, I can maybe increase that to 10 days or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
Distilled water? Would that?
If
you used distilled water,
that'd be a lot of freaking distilled water though.
Yeah, but I feel like you wouldn't have to.
I put some hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah, exactly.
I do a little bit of that.
Gotcha.
Very scientifically, just really measured out there.
Yeah, but I feel like if you used distilled water, and then you would still need some peroxide, I believe.
But where would I get that much? Because I just put the water hose in there right now.
Yeah, I mean, how many gallons would it take?
I don't know, dude. It's a lot. It takes it takes like 15 minutes to get to the right.
That would be a lot.
Right depth.
I'm thinking about buying one of those barrel cold plunges.
Do it.
You know what I'm talking about? The ones that you get in from the top.
I have not looked at cold plunges, so please educate me.
They're shaped. It's a cold plunge, is all it is, and it's shaped like what you would imagine, like a wooden cask or a barrel, like a whiskey barrel, and it's standing on its end, like the barrel of monkeys when you were kids. You know the monkeys that chain the toys, and it has a little step, and it is fucking freezing ass cold, and you hop up and you get down into it, so you're not laying in the cold plunge, you're more or less standing.
Yeah, you kind of kneel down,
squatted a little bit, and then when your time's up or whatever, you get back out the top. So it's got a smaller footprint. It takes less water.
Yeah,
but it's the same exact thing.
You don't need I almost don't need my coffee afterwards. I don't I drink the coffee afterwards.
I was gonna ask the benefit, like, how do you feel?
So dude. From a scientific perspective, go listen to Andrew Huberman or someone. But I can tell you how I feel. And it's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Really? I don't know if it's the best feling because I got out of this cold fucking water and I feel great.
You're like, thank God I'm out of there.
But but it's probably a lot of that, but it's also like a mental check with me. Like, okay, if I can get this done every single day, then bullshit meetings at work aren't going to be a thing. Like this is no one. And it's like a mind trick because I'm doing this every day. There's no one else in my immediate circle doing it. Yeah. So it's kind of like a quick win.
Yeah.
And then plus all those scientific benefits that you'll hear all the science talk about.
I don't know. I like the sauna because I like the sauna. It feels good while I'm in there. And I haven't been in a sauna in a long time, but I remember like at LA Fitness and stuff, I enjoy going in the sauna.
Yeah. I love the sauna.
So I don't know about the cold plunge thing, man.
Just try it. Try cold shower, I think it's tough because whenever
Cold
we
shower
go,
sucks ass. I do it every morning.
Yeah.
I'm like shaking like a stripper, man. It just
you do it too. You do it?
Well, every now and then if I just switch it over, it's like I'm like already like, oh man, hell no.
I think it's tougher because it's a smaller footprint hitting you and it's just running water.
Yeah.
I do it when I go on vacations and I don't have a cold plunge with me. I do it every morning, but I think it's tougher.
Yeah, because your whole body is not being like
it's just part of your body.
Yeah.
I think it's the running water too that has an effect.
That's pain.
But I like before I get in the cold plunge, I splash my face with water because I've heard you're supposed to get your face wet first or cold first, and then it helps reduce like migraines and stuff like that. So then you ease into the cold plunge, but it feels amazing. I don't know all the scientific lingo, but I feel like I just had a cup of coffee.
You stay in there for a couple minutes?
3 minutes. I try to get 3 minutes 5 times a week. So
you just do this weekdays in the morning. You wake up an extra 30 minutes before, kind of do this stuff.
No, I wake up. So I don't really have to do any work till 7. So I get up at 4 in the cold plunge by like 4:10 usually.
Wow.
And then have my cup of coffee, go have a meeting on the toilet. Yep. And then I start the workouts and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Drop the Browns off at the Super Bowl.
There you go. Yeah.
I haven't heard that in so long.
There you go.
Like middle school.
Yeah. It definitely, whenever I get out of that cold shower and I don't turn it back to hot. So here's what I do. I get it in the shower in the morning. Anyway, I always take a shower in the morning because it's a weird thing that I do. Because I take a shower before bed.
I do the same.
And I got to take one in the morning again.
I do too.
So I'll get in there, I'll wash my hair, my face, whatever it is. And then I'm like, okay, it's warm water. And then I'm like, okay. And I cut that bitch over to cold. And I'm guessing how long I'm in there. To be realistic and say probably about 2 minutes.
That's good.
I'm trying to increase it more. The only way to do that would be to start an actual timer. So I guess I could bring my phone in there and actually time it. But
you don't go back to hot.
So no, whenever my time is up or I can't stand it anymore or whatever it is, I just cut it straight off and I'll kind of, get the water off, but I don't immediately dry either.
Oof, you just kind of like air dry.
I stand there for a couple of 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
And then
play helicopter a little bit.
Yeah, maybe play helicopter. Actually, I'm thinking about how bad that sucked.
Yeah.
Maybe a little can't helicopter after a cold plunge.
It's a little helicopter.
It's a very small helicopter.
It's a drone.
but think about how bad it sucked. And then I'll dry off. But now by the time I have my clothes on and I'm out in the kitchen getting ready to sit down and read, I'm like awake. Like you said, I don't need the coffee. I'm like alert. I feel like I'm seeing sounds and hearing colors.
We have the same routine almost.
Yeah.
I read in the morning too.
And so I'll go sit. My food's already prepped. It's usually yogurt and protein and with some berries in the morning. And then I'll bust my book out and I'll read. I try to get like 15 pages, anywhere from 10 to 20 pages, but it's ultimately dictated by, I have to leave the house by 5 to get to work when I want to get to work. So I'll read from whatever time I get there, which is usually about 4:10, 4:15. I'll start reading. And then at like 4:55, I put the book down, grab my lunches in my bag, and I head out the door.
We got the same routine.
Y'all are making me feel weak right now.
Why? The cold shower?
Everything about y'all's morning is just...
I have to... Everything, it's not because I'm like this great morning person. I used to not be. I only do it because of the kids. I can't do anything when they're awake.
Yeah.
It's just impossible. Mm-hmm. So... And the wife is just nagging. No, I'm just no, but I have to like.
We record this. Right?
Yeah.
I'll send her that
just
one.
Nagging. No, but like that's my time. That's like my good time that I get by myself, and I get to do whatever the hell I want to do. And I get to knock out those things. And if I knock out those things, the reading, the cold plunge, the workout, then I'm a better like family man.
I'm with it. Yeah.
Well, I think you said something very key earlier, that those are wins. Boom, boom, boom. You wake up, nobody else is awake. You've won 3 times already.
Yeah, I know. It's so good.
You're already making that day your bitch already.
Yeah.
By the time 7 o'clock, by the time the kids are getting out of bed, the wife's getting up, whatever it is that happens, you're already like, I'm on a hot streak right now. I'm kicking. It is 6:30 a.m. and I'm kicking ass.
She gets so annoyed too. She's like, I was like, oh God, I'm ready to go because she's not a morning person.
What time does your wife get up and around?
I don't know, 6 o'clock, 6:30. Whenever the sun gets up. Yeah. So we have these gates all around our house. That way the kids don't go into rooms we don't want them to.
Yeah.
And my son, he just turned 4. He can now climb over those gates.
Oh.
So there's no stopping him.
He's
now.
going vertical.
It used to be like we leave him in the room. Well, I'll go get him like 10 minutes. Let me get like 10 minutes sleep. She's just, think to herself. Now he's just like
standing over the bed.
There's just like, there's no stopping him. Yeah. So now she gets up whenever he gets up.
Okay.
Ooh. So.
Yeah. Oh man! Speaking of your wife, you brought these.
Dude, I can't wait for y'all to try these.
So
tell us a little bit.
Yeah.
So this started from this probably was an idea from the podcast, talking to these regenerative ranches and like sustainability, using the entire animal, and it's made out of tallow. So we started using tallow as cooking oil. Mm-hmm. Do y'all use tallow as cooking oil?
What's tallow?
It's rendered beef fat.
Oh.
So it's usually the fat around, it don't have to be cows. It can be any ruminant animal, sheep, bison. It's usually around the organs of the animal. Yeah. And they render it down, and it's so it
would be like the visceral fat or
it's the best fat to cook in. It's superior to olive oil, avocado oil, anything, because it doesn't.
At the grocery store?
You can get it at the grocery store. Yeah.
Interesting.
You can get it.
I've heard people talking, but I've never really been educated.
It's like ghee.
Okay.
It tastes better, but the benefit of using tallow is that it doesn't oxidize as fast as olive oil. So the temperature at which you can
get
cook
it hotter.
You can get a lot hotter.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So anyway, we started using it to cook with. And my daughter came down one night and she was breaking out for a week or whatever. And she came down and I asked her what she was using.
Like hives or?
Well, just acne.
Okay.
She's 14 or whatever. And I asked her to bring down what she's using to wash her face. And she brought down, this
CeraVe
stuff, like whatever. I don't even know what it was.
Clearasil.
I was looking at the back of it and I was like, holy shit. Like we make this at the company I work at. Like, and the operators that have to handle this equipment are wearing PPE. They're wearing these gloves. They're wearing like protective goggles.
That's wild.
And I was like, I bet you we can make something homemade like Native Americans used to use or something and clear up this acne. Cause we're kind of on this kick right now anyway of like eliminating all toxins from the house.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. We're going through these.
Yeah.
We're going through the same
we
thing.
got rid of all this, the toxic pans and all that shit anyway. Yep. So anyway, I started
cast iron, baby.
Cast iron, cooking stainless steel, everything.
And I have a it's not porcelain. Pans coated in something. It's not Teflon. It's not porcelain.
Is it like is it brown? The brown?
Yeah. Whatever that
clay almost. I forget what.
Is it stainless steel?
No, the base is stainless. It doesn't matter, but mostly cast iron is what I use. Yeah. Carry on though. So you're like, daughter, we're going to help you out.
Yeah. So I started looking it up, and every civilization before we started using industrialized chemicals used tallow for skincare, for candles, for skincare, for skin protectant against bugs, against the sun and everything like that. And we were like, me and my wife were like, holy shit, tallow. Like we cook on that shit. So we made tallow with the oil that we cooked with, unscented. And we started using that for about a week. And I was like, this feels really good. Like this is better than my lotion. Cause I'm Mexican. I'm ashy. So I use a lot of lotion.
Me too. Yeah.
So,
I know a little bit about that.
I didn't mean to look at you.
Lotion.
Speaking of, let me see them elbows.
I seen some chapstick on the table. I was like, oh man, hold up.
So I was using it, and then some friends and family were like, hey, you should start selling this stuff. So we started scenting them with essential oils. So friends and family were like, hey, you should try selling some of this. And we're like, okay. So we kind of made it into a little business, made a website, and
these are your products.
That's what we call it. It's called Signature Touch.
Signature Touch.
Signature
Touch. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Nice.
But yeah, so right now we got
So clever, man. Look at that name.
I don't know. I like it though.
Yeah, I like it.
So we make everything from the tallow to the chapstick to the labels.
Mhm.
We've made the website. Everything's made small batch, handcrafted, grass-fed, grass-finished tallow, organic essential oils, and we also add prickly pear oil. Mm-hmm. So there are tallow companies on the market. There's a lot of them. It's growing now with all this regenerative ranching, and there's a lot of people doing it. A lot of people use coconut oil as the carrier oil. There's no one else on the market that uses prickly pear oil. Prickly pear oil is what the Native Americans used to use as skin hydration, skin support. It has the highest levels of vitamin D or vitamin E compared to any other oil on the market. And it feels amazing. So we did our first farmer's market last week in Katy. Mm-hmm. We did really good. Like we did far better than I thought we were going to do. We had like 9 people come up and try it. And if you've never tried it, it feels a little greasier at first, the first like 30 seconds. And if you keep doing, moisturizing yourself,
ringing it or whatever,
it stays there. So, but you just have to give it 30 to 45 seconds and it absorbs in your skin and it feels amazing. So anyway, we had like 9 people were like, just a little greasy. I'll think about it or give me your card. Mm-hmm. They all walked around.
They came back
before they left. They all came back and were like, this is like the most amazing thing I've ever felt in my life. And then we're like, yeah. So that felt really good. Like it felt really amazing to like.
Super cool, man.
So I think we should try it live.
You want to try it live? Oh, hold on. Okay. So hold on.
Toss it over.
Okay. So we have sweet cream and we have lavensense. So lavensense is frankincense and lavender and sweet cream is vanilla.
Sweet cream.
Oh, sweet cream for sure.
There you go.
Yeah. And are you considering doing the
Signature Touch
for cooking as well, or are you sticking with skincare?
I think skincare right now. We're going to start with, so we got tallow, but we're going to do candles. We're going to do soap, body soap.
Yeah.
And it's all on the premise of eliminating toxins. Really mm-hmm. So to start off with, just use a little bit. Then just rub
a long way.
Just use a little bit.
Are you talking about like that?
That's actually, so that will do your whole arm.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you're probably like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even less than that.
Dude,
so so full transparency, I use a lot because I like.
Should I take my watch off?
No, I mean, I put it everywhere. I put it on my face.
Okay.
I put it on my head. Yeah. I put it on my butt.
I was going to ask.
I put it everywhere.
Yeah.
Is it, so I recently,
smells great.
I used to be a Burt's Bees guy.
Oh, and Burt's Bees is full of crap now, man. Did you see that?
Bro, so I didn't even see it. I felt it. I was using it. And no issue. I'll apply like once or twice a day and it's fine. No problems. And then I bought another tube and I'm using it. I'm like, man, it's like middle of the day and I'm starting to get like kind of crusty. And I'm like, I'm not liking this. I look it up and I seen that they sold to some company, I think Clorox.
Yeah.
Clorox or something. And so I was like, oh man. So they're that's the people that are making it now. And I'm guessing whatever they're putting in there isn't as natural as it used
tallow.
to be.
They used to be tallow and beeswax and all that. And now it's not.
Toss me is that chapstick?
Chapstick.
And it's huge. So it's like,
my girlfriend's
switched.
Chapstick freak.
Vanilla peppermint, vanilla lavender.
Vanilla peppermint right here.
There you go.
Oh my goodness.
Don't worry, I'll get it.
Oh,
and I got
Signature Touch.
And I got some samples.
Sick.
So this is a new scent, Bernella. It's vanilla and bergamot, which is like it's like a woodsy scent smell.
Okay.
And then Admire is actually my favorite. Admire is lavender and jasmine essential oil.
Oh.
So yeah, some samples here for y'all. But so yeah, just a little bit goes a long way. We actually had a customer left a review on the website. She left it in her car over the last weekend. It was kind of hot.
Yeah.
It didn't melt.
Really? Yeah. Okay, because the temperature, it's so much. It tolerates a lot higher temperature.
And we got organic Texas beeswax in there too.
Nice.
So,
do you also cook with butter, or do you just stick with tallow?
I cook with butter too.
Well, why would you go with one over the other in what situations? Just curious.
Tallow with meat.
Okay.
And then butter with vegetables and eggs and stuff.
Because of the flavor.
Yeah.
Flavor's better.
So tallow at the grocery store, is it in like is it by the butter?
It's by the oils.
Okay. So like your olive oil. section or
it's
whatever.
It's very small because you'll see usually with the tallow, it's by the ghee too.
Yeah, that little small, very, very tiny.
You gotta be careful too.
Section
when we first started making it, it smelled beefy. Yum. And I was like, what the, why does it smell this way? And my mom is actually the one, she's like, you're not going to sell, it smells nasty. You're not going to smell this or no one's going to buy this. Mm-hmm. So we looked at it and it had beef flavoring in the tallow.
Oh,
so you have to watch out the tallow that you buy. Yeah. Just buy natural
and
tallow.
It's fine by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I'm looking at the ingredients.
I'm talking about for cooking.
Yeah. For cooking too.
Yeah. Just buy tallow by itself.
Yeah, very small ingredient list.
Yeah. Grass-fed beef tallow, prickly pear oil, vanilla essential oil. What do you know? Exactly what he said.
Yeah.
It's exactly what's in there.
So that's like our motto we're trying to do is like ingredients that you can pronounce and say in one sentence.
Yeah.
It's kind of like cool. the stick of it. But yeah, we want to get into soap making, candles. So candles, which y'all know.
But where's my tinfoil hat?
Oh, really? I don't know anything about candles. Educate me.
Dude, candles put off so many toxins.
Really?
And it's not even
like Denver knows this. She loves candles.
All the fragrance, all the stuff that smells good is actually wrecking your hormone system.
Really?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
This is not
bad for your endocrine system.
Bad for your endocrine system.
This is no idea.
Bed Bath and Beyond, or Bed Body Works.
Yeah.
Bath and Body Works. Jesus Christ.
Same thing.
Yeah, I never go.
Dude,
I never go.
Dude, just walk. Now that our house is not filled with that stuff, we walk by that Bed Bath and Beyond, whatever it is, and I get a headache now.
Yeah.
It tastes like I taste it on my tongue and it's like, what the hell is that? Like, and I never used to feel that way before. It always smelled good.
So y'all are using essential oils in the candles or what?
Yeah. So we're going to be using tallow. We're actually in the R&D phase of the candle right now. So it's probably going to be just tallow, beeswax, and essential oil. But it's an educating process, right? Because people think that it's supposed to smell as strong as the candle that you buy.
It's not going to, right?
It's not, it's going to smell good, but it's not going to have that potent smell.
Mm-hmm.
What about these little Scentsy things that we have? Like,
yeah, those are bad too. Those are extremely, just look at anything that says fragrance is bad. Yeah. Fragrance can mean, so this is the other kicker. Fragrance can mean up to 50 chemicals in the fragrance.
And they only have to say fragrance.
They only have to say fragrance, but it can mean 50 different things in fragrance.
My tinfoil hat.
And so we actually, we have our first few candles that we're testing right now. And she burned one, like a little 3-ounce one for 8 hours one day, just testing how long it burned for. And that's what the Indians and, Europeans used to use on ships and stuff coming to America. Is tallow.
So, wow. So I'm putting it in the diet.
Dude.
And I'm buying some of these products too.
Dude,
can you buy them online on your website?
So we ship online. You got a little QR code. You can go to the website.
I've seen that.
Signature Touch. And I'll tell y'all right now, I got the vanilla peppermint on the lips.
I like the vanilla peppermint.
I like that a lot. It tastes good. It feels good. But this hand cream, the sweet cream, smells amazing, and my hands feel great.
Yeah, it takes like 60 seconds to soak in.
A little bit does go a long way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I'm like up to my wrists, and it feels nice.
So that little jar will last me and I use a bunch. I use like a good spoonful on each arm.
Yeah.
That jar will last me like 3.5 months.
Is this post shower, like at night?
Post shower, and I use it everywhere. Like if you have dandruff, I have really bad dandruff and I rub it on my hair. Yeah. And I don't have dandruff anymore.
Man, dude, this is super cool. So, so you and the wife started using, learned about tallow and then it turned into this whole business thing for y'all too.
Does your wife work?
Yes, she works at the same company I work for too.
She works for Signature Touch.
She works full-time Signature Touch. Yeah. So it's the business is under her. She's the owner and creator of it, and she's a veteran, so it's veteran owned.
Nice. Is it signaturetouch.com?
It's oursignaturetouch.com.
Our
Signature Touch. Yeah.
Our Signature Touch
was taken. Bastards.
Yeah. But we should find them, whoever owns the domain.
So I reached out to them. It's not a live website.
Yeah.
I reached out to them.
Were they willing to sell?
No, they haven't answered. But
yeah, good. I mean, there's
I need to know.
So like, for example, when we first started, the only reason our website is otgfitness.com, it's not onlythegreatest.com, because when I first came up with everything, onlythegreatest.com was like $1,000. It was not a live website either, but they wanted $1,000 for it. And I was like, man, I can't afford that right now. So I went and bought OTGfitness.com, which is like $5.
Yeah.
And now we do currently own onlythegreatest.com now.
Oh, you do?
I own onlythegreatest.com.
Damn right he does.
But it was like, I don't know, maybe about a year or two ago.
Sell some tallow.
We don't really do much. I don't do much with it, but I wanted to have it. Like it meant a lot to me.
Absolutely.
To have it. So when I was able to.
I need to reach out to that person again. It's been I guess almost 8 months since I've reached out to him.
Okay.
But
Can't you, since you own both, can't you, if somebody puts onlythegreatest.com,
yeah, you can redirect.
Will it redirect to?
I don't know if I ever set that up or not.
You can do it.
But yeah, that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
And you can do it's just a redirect.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's set up, but I know that like it's under my login, like, and I see it there. Like that's cool with me for now because OTGfitness.com is where we've created like the SEO and like all that stuff. So I'm not sure if changing the domain name would mess that up at all. This is a little bit over my head, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not real sure. It is what it is.
I need to get with you offline and learn about SEO. I've tried to educate myself on SEO for our website and stuff. So,
well, what I've noticed for the gym as a local business, we don't really worry as much about SEO these days. Honestly, it's more about the map pack.
What's the map pack?
When you search for anything near me, those 3 things come up. That's where the money's at.
Okay.
The SEO, people don't care about web page. Well, it depends.
Right. And what they're looking for.
Yeah. If we're a local business, right? So people don't scroll down the Google page. They go to the map pack.
Yeah.
All that matters for us is that we're in those top 3. It doesn't matter if you're 1, 2, or 3.
Gyms near me.
Yeah. If you're searching for, we don't care about gyms near me. We care about personal trainer near me. Because people call me all the time, I send them to Steelworks.
Yeah.
I don't want people searching gyms near me. I mean, they can
tallow near me.
Yeah.
Signature touch.
Onlythegreatest.com.
Signature.com.
But yeah, so what matters the most is that you're in the 3-pack. And then from there, it's all about the reviews.
How'd you do that? So are you in the
reviews? Okay. Reviews. Either Sean or myself posts to Google roughly once a week.
Yeah.
What do you mean post to Google?
I'll post some type of like photos or video, something in the update.
Yeah, you can post to Google just like you post to Facebook.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You should be doing that.
I need to show.
I can help you out with it.
Okay.
I'm not an expert. This is just the things that we've learned.
Yeah. So I'll post like pictures I took at the gym. I'll put like a nice quote under there, and you can pick whether to have it just be there or have it go to like a learn more tab, message me, a bunch of different contact things. You can also link to that picture as well.
Okay.
So.
And I think very few people actually do this stuff, but what it does is it's something built into the algorithm.
Yeah.
That it makes Google know that like, hey, you're active and we're going to push you up. And then beyond that, it's the reviews, man. The reviews, making sure the bio is all good. There's like a little Q&A section. Make sure you fill that out, services and everything, just make sure it's nice and thorough.
Yeah.
This stuff's nice.
Dude, appreciate it, dude. Everyone, like I said, everyone's really liked it. My grandma has like dark spots on her hand and like the dark spots have faded.
Wow.
I'm definitely going to take one of these to the wife. She's a big skincare.
Dude, I have a whole section on the website of like what tallow is and what prickly pear oil is and the FAQ.
Yeah.
Like, so you can go to any website. You can just Google benefits of tallow on skin.
Right.
I'm going to signaturetouch.com.
Go to Signature Touch. Let me know what you think of the website.
Bro.
And you said this is good on the face as well. I'm very picky about what I put on my face.
Use it everywhere. Really? And when I mean everywhere, I mean
he's talking about
everywhere.
Feet too.
I use it everywhere.
Yeah.
So we use it on our.
I'm gonna try it out.
We use we have a scentless that just says tallow and prickly pear, and we use that on our twins. We don't put essential oils on them.
Mm-hmm. My dog has very bad skin problems.
Dude, I wonder.
I might give it. Dude, I've tried everything else. And the poor guy's itchy and he's just, I don't know. He's just got itchy skin. He's like got allergies and stuff. I'm going to try it.
Dude, give it a shot.
I'm going to give it a shot for sure.
And full circle here.
I'll probably can you buy unscented online?
You can buy everything online.
I'll buy some unscented for him. I don't know if he likes sweet cream.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend sweet cream on him.
But I guess if he was to lick it off of himself, it wouldn't.
The funny thing too is like, I was like, because we're going to start doing some commercials. We're going to be like, it's so natural you can eat it. And then I was going to eat it, but we don't recommend eating essential oils.
Right. Mm-hmm. Sure.
But full circle, like you didn't inspire this Signature Touch, but you in a way did. Business owners that I've had on the podcast, like the moment that I talked to you, I was like, man, my company I work for is not everything. Like I want to be a business owner. I want to like create something. I want to provide a service, offer a product to the community. Like this is what it's about, like helping people and something natural and that I'm really passionate about. And this is full circle. So yeah.
Sweet. Well, thanks.
Yeah, I like it.
Same thing with you. I know we talked about it already earlier, but you're looking at this right now. You're standing here because I hung out with you. Yeah.
Signature touch. No.
Yeah. Because of these essential oils and tallow and signature touch. And you can put this stuff everywhere. I put that shit on everything.
There you go.
Hold on. We got one coming out for, like nut butter for athletes and stuff.
Yeah.
We got one coming out called Derriere.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
So all that stuff that athletes use for runners, it's all like heavily chemical toxins. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this will be natural that you can use and actually rub on your junk.
Yeah, we can use it on a run.
I haven't gotten to runs long enough to need that.
I don't actually use them either, so I don't know why people. I don't know.
I have anything over like 10 miles, and my lats chafe, my thighs chafe. Yeah,
I've never really dealt with that.
Because you're swole.
Yeah, maybe because that's because I'm not working out hard enough.
Me neither, apparently. I'm not working out hard enough. I'm not cold plunging enough. I'm not getting up early enough. I'm not reading enough in the morning. I'm out of here.
Not using tallow.
You're not moisturizing enough.
You're not moisturizing.
When did you start using tallow?
This guy uses
step one,
game stock. Okay, imagine it. I'm just envisioning you like sitting by a campfire with like your hair tied up with a bone stuck through it, and there's a whole cow melted in your bowl, or a buffalo, and you're just like scooping it out.
That's what it was. The first, I put liver in it. I put everything in the first time.
Oh my goodness!
I love it.
You're gonna have to help me out with the liver thing. I got a couple pounds of liver in the freezer right now.
So do you like it raw?
Can you eat it raw?
Can you eat it raw? Yeah, I eat raw. Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, so here's the cheat code. Put a little salt and maple syrup on it.
Raw?
Yeah. It's a little cheat code. But if you want to cook it, do the same thing.
I think I'd rather cook it.
It tastes the same thing. It tastes the same way. It doesn't.
When you cook it, do you cook any stuff out of it? Any new?
I guess you can do. I think you do cook some
nutrients out of it.
Yeah, some. But it's probably
Have you tried having it ground into ground beef?
Yeah.
How is it? Does it mess up the ground beef?
Liver has a taste. So
taste.
But if I'm getting a single cow, right?
Right.
And this is going to be like over 100 pounds of ground beef.
You probably won't be able to tell.
But like how much with the liver, if I ask them to, hey, give me a couple pounds of, like, I don't know how much a whole,
how big a liver, are you getting a whole liver?
I don't know.
Dude, a whole liver is
it big?
Depending on what, like a whole liver.
Oh, I don't know.
You're looking like,
how much?
I want to say maybe 15, 20 pounds.
Oh,
for a whole liver.
Okay. I'm thinking like 3-4 pounds.
No, for a steer, depending on how big your steer is, 15, 20 pounds maybe.
Wow. Okay. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. It's big. Like it's big enough to where, he cut it in half for me, and it's like big balls, and
big balls.
And you just like,
no, so I chop it up in little squares. So I unthaw it just a little bit, and then I chop it up in little squares. So I'll probably eat 1 to 2 ounces 5 times a week ish. And then I put it in little baggies. That way I just grab the bag, and then I
interesting. Yeah, I have a couple pounds.
Like a little fruit snack.
They're frozen right now.
Right.
Yeah, it's frozen right now.
Salt and maple syrup, bro.
Interesting.
Salt to get you maple syrup.
Or try it raw first. But I promise you, if you cook it and you think it's going to taste better, I don't think it tastes good at all. Like I don't crave liver, but I want to eat it because I know it's nutrient dense.
Yeah,
sure.
So
super cool. Well, Jon, it was good to have you, dude. Do we have anything else? We could talk all day. I don't care.
This is a great episode. I'm like,
we got so much more to cover.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure there's more. But
go ahead real quick. Plug our signature touch, signaturetouch.com is for the tallow products.
Yep.
Curiosity with Jon and Mike is one of your podcasts.
Yep.
What's the other one? What'd you say the other one?
Our Society with Jon Alba.
Our Society with Jon Alba. It's exactly how it sounds, right? ALBA.
Yep.
And what about Instagram pages? I know Curiosity has one.
Yeah, Curiosity with Jon and Mike, and then just follow me on J Alba.
J Alba. And then what about Signature Touch? Did you have a page?
It's Our Signature Touch. Yeah, on Instagram.
At Our Signature Touch.
Yep.
Signature Touch on Instagram.
Yeah. You got YouTube and all that good stuff.
On YouTube, Our Signature Touch. Guys, go check them out. Check out Curiosity. Check out his personal page. Check out the business.
And the wife.
Well, you can check her out too, I guess. the business that he and his wife operate. And man, give them a like, give them a follow, listen to their stuff, because obviously the guy, Jon, you're the conversations that you have with the people that you have them with. I'm like, that's the shit that I like. That is super interesting to me. Not enough people sit down and have full blown detailed conversations. I feel like there's our society in a lot of ways is shallow. You know, they don't want to go into all the do all the research and go into all the nooks and crannies and get all the opinions, right? Like you said, you got vegan chefs and carnivore doctors and vice versa. And your circle is just absolutely incredible. So you're building something great over there. And your podcast was the kick in the ass that OTG podcast needed, right? Because OTG was already a thing. We were already talking about the idea, and then he went on y'all's show and he was like, man, these guys, they got a show. And he was like, we can set it up like that. And this is how they did it, and it just really, and so I remember him being like, nah, we're doing it.
Hell yeah.
So thanks to you, man.
Likewise. And I love everything that y'all are putting out. A big fan. Like I said, I'm a fanboy of OTG.
Ooh, I'm be a Signature Touch fanboy.
Yeah. Y'all are inspiring people, even when you think that you're not. Your content that you're putting out, the messaging, all that stuff is great, dude. It's amazing.
That's one thing that I've come to realize more recently in my life. And it's not to sound big-headed or conceited in any way, but whether you like it or not, you're leading somebody somewhere.
Yep.
Somebody's watching you do your daily activities, whether it's your wife, you got young kids, whether it's your kids, whether it's coworkers, whether it's you're walking through the grocery store and, somebody drops some money and then another person sees it and then you get the money and you're like, hey, and you give it back to them. Right. And they see, you know what I mean? You're leading in some capacity in some way. And if you're not doing the right things, you're likely leading somebody down that path too.
Right.
So, whether you like it or not, you're leading. So you might as well be positive. You might as well try to learn. You might as well try to be better.
Absolutely.
Because you're being watched for sure.
Absolutely.
Bill, you got anything else, man?
What's documentary number one?
Oh yeah. Documentary number one.
I mean, we can talk about it more if you want, real quick, at least. I'm curious.
So again,
is this one in the works?
Yes. Okay. It's in the works right now. So through the podcast, like everything else,
through Curiosity and Our Society, I've talked with a bunch of regenerative ranchers and have just become inspired about how ranching can help. That style of ranching can help restore our climate and human health. Definitely.
So I've teamed up. I got a bunch of awesome people on board. Have y'all heard of Forces of Nature?
Forces of Nature.
Rome Ranch. So it's a large company. Familiar. Forces of Nature meat just sold at HEB. It's sold at Whole Foods. It's I'm sure you've seen it.
I think the label is coming to my mind.
It's like bison on the label.
Yeah.
So that guy has a ranch in Fredericksburg, and he's a young guy just like us. Him and his wife started a company called Epic Bars, and they sold that company to General Mills for a lot of money. And then they were like, oh, I want to do some good for the world. And they started this regenerative ranch.
Yeah.
So I got him part of the documentary. I got Will Harris, who was actually just on Rogan.
Yeah. That name does sound familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's kind of like the pioneer of regenerative ranching. Yeah. And then I have like a bunch of, soil scientists. I got a couple of universities on board. And we're going to start filming this year. And it's going to be about how regenerative ranching can restore soil health, climate health, and human health.
Yeah.
And that's the gist of it. So the idea is to film this year, some next year, start wrapping it up at the end of next year and
25
and then try to get it on Netflix or Amazon Prime. Yeah. Somewhere around there.
Man, y'all be
when do you go full time with all this?
What do you mean?
You still work like a regular job? Like, is that what?
Yeah,
I mean, you don't have to answer this question.
I just make it happen, man. I don't know.
My guy just makes it happen.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
He throws some tallow. He gets the cold plunge, throws some tallow on, and
that
had to happen.
When I was telling you, like, school's going to be over. Like, school's about to be over. So
6 hours.
Yeah, that's 6 hours where I can put towards signature touch, and I'm looking for some other, filmers. Just FYI.
I know a guy who knows. Dude, I'm very, very interested in this. It sounds super, super cool.
I have 2 full-time videographers that have agreed to come on board. And so I'll try to make it quick, but so I started.
Don't make it quick. This is the podcast.
I tried to this was all going to be self-funded, right? And when I started meeting with all these people, that was one of the more higher up in society they were, the more financial questions that they started asking. Mm-hmm. And I met with this one guy, and he's the creator of this drone company, and the drones use some type of LiDAR technology to see how healthy soil is. Mm-hmm. And that company's backed by Al Gore. Anyway, he started asking questions like, "Hey, why are you? How are you doing this? Seems like a big." He saw the list of people that were agreed to be on, which still to this day I don't know why half of them said yes, because they're like, "Have you ever done a documentary?" I'm like, "No, I got a podcast though."
They're like, "Oh, this guy's got a podcast."
Yeah. I'm about to.
Yeah. So
I'm finna.
This guy was like, his name's David Bruno, and he works at University of Michigan, and he's like this well-known PhD, and he's like, "Hey, you should start a nonprofit and get this thing funded." And I was like, "Nonprofit?" He's like, "Yeah, that's what all of them do." So I started researching other documentaries, and if you look at any of the big name documentaries on Amazon Prime, Netflix, whatever you look at, all of them are backed by some type of nonprofit, and the nonprofit funds editing, funds the travel, funds all the expenses. So I was like, "Well, I don't know how to start a nonprofit," so looked into that. Started a nonprofit. Now it's 501c3 certified. It's called Our Sustainable Footprint. And the documentary is going to be called Biodiversity, A Sustainable Footprint. And the nonprofit's called Our Sustainable Footprint. So it's good. The nonprofit, its first mission is to fund this documentary. So right now I'm actively reaching out to organizations, companies, to help fund this documentary so I can pay these videographers full time.
Wow. Super cool. Big operation.
That's amazing.
A lot of moving parts.
That's the whole idea of it. And I'm just going to use vacation. That's just how I'm going to do it.
Until it goes big.
There you go, man.
Yeah. If at this point, if I have to quit, I'm going to quit.
Yeah. Right. This guy, he's in too deep. It's going to have to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had to happen.
Yeah.
Jared told me.
Yeah. Jared. Phil told him, "What made you decide to take the plunge and start your own business?" One of our guests we had recently.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Had to happen."
Yeah.
And that was it. That was his answer.
Yeah. That was it. I was waiting for more. And he's like, that was it.
It was plain to him.
Next question.
I like that it was so cut and dry. He knew in his heart that it had to happen. So that's what happened.
Yeah. The way the pieces come together. Like when I saw Will Harris, so I asked Will Harris, who's the godfather of regenerative agriculture. Mm-hmm. He's like the pioneer. You look up regenerative agriculture on Google, Will Harris is going to come up. When I talked to his daughter, and she was all game, she's like, "Hell yeah, we'll be part of it." She's from Georgia, country girl. She's like, "You can come stay with us. We film whatever, blah, blah, blah." And then I saw him on Rogan, and I was like, "Oh shit. Like this dude's not going to want anything to do with me. Like I'm not a nobody." His daughter reached back out like a week later and was like, "Hey, just making sure we're still good for 2023." Like, blah. Yeah. And I was like,
"My goodness,
bet."
That's what I'm talking about.
Like,
awesome.
So that's like kicked me into high gear, and like all these pieces started falling together. Like all these researchers from all these universities. Like I had a lot more people tell me yes than I had a lot more people. I only had like 3 people tell me no. Ironically, so there's a great documentary on Netflix that I recommend. It's called "Kiss the Ground."
Okay. Kiss the Ground? It's on Netflix? No, I've never seen that one.
It's amazing. It's kind of what inspired me to make the documentary. That Okay. So when I was researching about regenerative agriculture and I was researching about Kiss the Ground, there was a whole segment of a whole culture in the Native American community that weren't represented in that documentary. So the principles of regenerative agriculture, minimal impact, no chemicals, rotating animals, animal safety, all that stuff, building up local communities, that's all built off what Native Americans used to do and still do today. Mm-hmm. They feel that the white farmer is taking away some of that shine. So anyway, they weren't represented in this documentary called Kiss the Ground, but it's an amazing documentary. Recommend it. That organization that made Kiss the Ground come out and publicly apologize is on board with my documentary.
Oh,
damn. So wow. I got like, it's kind of like the whole thing is coming.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to be representing like every culture, the black farmers, the white farmers, the Mexican farmers. And then I got the Navajo tribe, the Cherokee tribe.
Wow.
Everybody on
got
board.
Reps from everywhere.
Yeah. So it, like I said, a lot more people have told me yes. I've only had like 3 or 4 people who are like, they don't want anything. And they were like government people. They were like, kind of high up.
They're lost.
Yeah.
You're lost government people who are listening to me on my phone.
That's the first documentary.
Dude, that's super cool. I'm excited.
That's a lot, man. I'm
that is
that's it.
The undertaking, the fact that you're like, this is what I'm doing while you got all this other stuff going on. It's bold. And I was gonna say, as you were talking, I was thinking, you were like, you said, man, these things kind of started falling into place and these professors and stuff just kind of started. And I was thinking to myself, it's crazy how luck favors the hardworking, how luck favors the brave, how fortune favors those who have the balls to go out and go after something and the grit to grind it out.
Right.
It's funny how that works. Me personally, I don't believe in luck. I don't believe in fortune. I believe in, discipline, hard work, and honestly, God's plan, but you're only going to be presented with an opportunity in life. It's not always going to be done for you. Right. So, you don't necessarily create your own opportunities, but you have to work for them to present themselves most of the time. And it's crazy how, this stuff started falling into place. And I'm thinking, no, it's not. You're out there doing the work, right?
Yeah, you're putting it in place.
You're putting it in place.
A lot of like even getting like I was like, how the first things to build a documentary. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I have an idea in my head.
Got one of those yellow books, how to film a documentary for dummies.
Yeah, basically, I put that in YouTube, and they're like,
YouTube University,
get a pitch deck, and I was like,
I got a book idea.
What's a pitch deck?
Yeah.
Straight up.
Hey, let's get the book idea, John. Hey, and seriously, we can write it as you're doing the documentary, and then after it comes out, and of course, there will be good and bad when it drops. Right, you'll have some good feedback, some bad feedback.
Absolutely.
That'll be like the last chapter of the how to write a documentary for dummies.
It's actually a good idea.
Dude, you get in this room right here.
Yeah.
Ideas creativity just starts
in the compound
flying.
Absolutely.
This is the compound. Well, man, it's super cool. John, I'm glad that you remembered that, because that was one of the things that we'll get to about this, and this, and that first documentary. So we're looking for 2025.
2025. So originally the plan was aggressive. Like we were going to film all this year.
August of 23 coming out.
Yeah. We were going to start filming in April, and we were going to be ready by the film festival markets next year. Mm-hmm. But Jane Buxton, who the podcast that I had with her was only 30 minutes. The conversation actually was an hour and a half, and I was telling her about the documentary, and she told me, she's like, oh my God, don't rush this. She's like, do it right. She's like, let me give you some advice. So she gave me some like sage wisdom advice. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what made me shift my thing. And I was like, all right, I'm going to pump the brakes a little bit, launch this. Like I want to properly launch this, get that going, and then actively pursue grants and funding for this to pay the people. Right.
Yeah.
So
properly and end up with a good product and a book on how to write a documentary. And then we can use the book for your next documentary, that one where you do the carnivore versus vegan.
Yeah. We actually might do those.
So it's right here in chapter 3, Jon, that we, two
documentaries at the same time.
Yeah. I love it, man. Anybody got anything else?
Dude, nah, I'm good.
This was fun.
Jon, we got to get you.
Hey, like, comment, and subscribe. Man.
Like, comment, subscribe. Signature Touch, Curiosity with Jon and Mike, OTG Fitness, OTGFitness.com. Like and subscribe our podcast. Follow Sean at Sean Wisdom.
At OTG Daryl, at OTG Phil.
J Alba. Our Society with Jon Alba. All the stuff. Give them a follow, give them a like, buy some tallow. And, just remember that luck and fortune favor the hardworking and the brave.
Appreciate y'all.
That's it.
Thank you.
Oh, man. Thank you.
Dude.
This was cool, man.
Longest episode we've ever done.
Really? Is it really?
Yeah,
I would think so.
It's up there,
Damn, I talk a lot.
Hour 48.
Oh, almost 2.
Yeah.
Dang, we should have went another 12.
Dude,
That's all right.
All right.
That's what she said.
Fade that back out. Fade that back out. We got to go another 12.
We got to need another 12 in there.
All right, y'all. We're out of here.
All right, we're out.
And that